I think you've listened to our podcast. I've said it multiple times, and I think we kind of talked about this. I mean, a lot of other like the general Calcio programs, okay, the English speaking Calcio programs, we're all getting ready to call out Kvaratskhelia as the breakout player of the Serie A season. And I don't argue with anybody that wants to say that. Okay. My whole point was, and I said this way back in our preview, is I saw him play before he came to Napoli. I saw him play for Georgia. My gambling habits made me watch Georgia. I can't remember who they played. So, but okay, I can't name another guy on Georgia except I know that his last name ends in Vili in all likelihood. And I'm not trying to say that to be, I'm not trying to say that to profile Georgians. That's just whenever I look at a Georgia lineup, that's just what I'm drawn to when I see their last names. Now, Kvaratskhelia is playing for Georgia, is a man amongst boys on the Kvaratskhelia. Thank you.
Kvaratskhelia.
Okay. Don't worry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Butcher a bunch of names.
Do you know the worry I had when he signed him? And I was like, when he scores the first goal at the Maradona, what's the crowd? What's the crowd gonna do when they have to yell his name out?
Khvicha.
That was one of the first things. Oh, it was great.
Yeah. So let's just Kvara because he said he do that for sure. Kvaradona. Okay. Better national teams know he's the man. Prepare to deal with him. Prepare to try to take him out of a game or try to make him a non-factor. But he still is productive. Drawing fouls, creating chances, crosses, goals. He can load up the proverbial stat sheet. So when he came to Napoli, I sat there and I said, it's not going to surprise me that he's going to be really good because now you got him on the left, you got Politano or Lozano on the right, you got Osimhen up front. He's going to be surrounded by talent. You can't just key in on him now. He's going to go and be the man. So I'm not particularly surprised at the impact that he's had since coming over. But I'd like to get your input from my thought was, and Richard will support this. Once it was known that Fabian was going to go to PSG, I said, Piotr Zielinski is going to step up in a big way. He is going to take command of things. And while everyone's going to talk about Maradona, and rightfully so, Piotr Zielinski is going to have a huge piece of what's going on with this thing, and he has so far. So I just want to start by asking your opinion. Kvaradona first, we'll call him that to make it easy. And then, Zielinski, do you share my sentiment that this is the impact you expected from him once Fabian was gone?
So as far as Kvaratskhelia, Kvaradona, Kvara, whatever you want to call him, the Georgia Peach is what I like to call him.
There you go. I like that.
The Georgia Peach.
I like that.
You like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the game you were thinking of is the one against North Macedonia where they beat them 3-0.
Yeah.
And Macedonia having just performed in the Euro and got themselves a win in the Euro too. And then beating Italy in the World Cup playoff, here comes Georgia, and Georgia just completely dismantles them. And it was a large part due to Kvaratskhelia. Yeah, I had watched him too a little bit when the rumblings were that we were going to sign him. And I fully 100% thought that he's going to come in here and light this league up. I mean, I've been on various, my show, other shows, I'm asked by a lot of people, on Twitter and, what do you think? What do you think? And I just every time I was asked that, I'd say the same thing. This guy's going to light this league up right away, no questions asked. And, a lot of people gave me some crap about it saying, he's got to, this is not the Georgian league. This is not the, Russian league. This is, the Italian league with Serie A. We're going, he's got to integrate himself into the mix. He can't just come on to a team and light things up, this and that. And look what he's done. Look what he's done. He's already August Serie A Player of the Month. He is a clear better replacement to Insigne, and that's not a knock on Insigne either, because you could definitely see the downward slope that Insigne was in. Even when I praised his performances last year, when not many people were, you could definitely tell that there is a rejuvenation on that side of the pitch. And I fully expected the start from Kvaratskhelia. I didn't expect Napoli to be so dynamic along with the team, with Kvaratskhelia. I didn't really expect us to be in this position. I thought that we'd be somewhere around first place, maybe second, third. I had us finishing in third at the end of the season, a third with a close fourth, top four for sure. But I didn't think that it was going to be like this, like with the addition of Kim, with the loss of all the major players that we had. I'll admit I was a little concerned myself, even though I knew Napoli replaced well. Napoli are very good when it comes to scouting and developing and bringing in the right players and spending the right amount of money and all that stuff. I was also under the impression, oh wow, look at what Roma did. Inter is still Inter. Milan are the champions. Juventus got who? And it's like, it was a little scary. Lazio made a lot of really good moves. It was a little scary at first, but when Kvaratskhelia came in game one and lit things up, and Napoli put 5 past Verona and then 4 past Monza, and then just this attitude it's a different attitude. Kvaratskhelia plays with a different attitude than Lorenzo Insigne has ever played. And you can see that so evident in the first 7 games of the league. Now, as far as Zielinski goes, I always knew Zielinski to be one of the best midfielders in the league. And I never once doubted Zielinski having a really good season this season. Last season was due to COVID, in my opinion, and nobody can change my mind. He got COVID. He came back. He was not the same. And you're right. The focus was on Fabian Ruiz a little bit more. Fabian Ruiz played really well for us last season. But Fabian leaving or not, I always knew Zielinski was going to come around and have a season like he should. And to me, 2 seasons ago, he was midfielder of the season. I think they might have given it to Barella 2 seasons ago. But in my opinion, he was midfielder of the season. Double-digit goals and assists, and just a contributor. Yeah. And he's back to it. He's 100% back to it. I think the reason Zielinski has so much, riding on him and positively this season is also due to Lobotka and Anguissa's help in the midfield. Without Lobotka and Anguissa being so helpful, whereas Zielinski doesn't really have to worry too much about covering for any one of them, I think that makes Zielinski just frees him up in the park and allows him to get a little bit more forward and allows him to play make and allows him to dictate. And I just think it's his natural ability coming back to fruition after having a break in the summer and saying, okay, here we go, new season. And it sucks that he's got to go to the World Cup in the summer. And I hope to God that nothing happens to Zielinski.
Yeah.
I pray every single day that these players that are leaving come back healthy.